Hi, I'm Davy. I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling-related things, all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. And this last week, we had WrestleMania 40 live from Philadelphia. Now it's a two-night event, plus all the other stuff going on. There was Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. There was NXT Stand and Deliver. I'll do one of those next week. But this week, of course, I'm reviewing the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania. Let's start with night one. The opening match for the entire WrestleMania event was for the Women's World Championship, as Becky Lynch challenged Rhea Ripley. I gotta give it its due, it was a great opener. These two, as we expected, went back and forth for a while, and they brought it, and what I loved the best about it was, honestly, I had no idea who was going to walk away the winner. Were they going to let Rhea keep the title and continue her dominant reign, or were they going to give it to Becky Lynch, the biggest women's superstar they got right now? The face of the women's division, if you will. And one thing I love about Rhea Ripley is that in the big matches, she always seems to have something new in her arsenal. This time, a frog splash. And it went until Becky Lynch attempted a top rope manhandle slam that Rhea Ripley countered, and then Rhea Ripley getting the riptide, getting the pin, and retaining her Women's World Championship. Which, even though I would have been okay whatever way it went, I'm actually glad it went this way, because I honestly feel there's more for Rhea Ripley to do as Women's World Champion. And honestly, I kind of feel like when she drops it, it doesn't need to be somebody that established. But like I said, this was a great way to open the show. Wouldn't say it was a 5, but definitely a 4 out of 5. Yeah! Then the 6-pack tag team ladder match for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship titles. Sort of, as I made it clear in the beginning that they were going to hang both sets of titles from two different hooks, so a team could leave as the Undisputed Tag Team Champions, or they could be splitting up the tag team titles again. And I was hoping for the splitting it up. Because honestly, I would kind of like it if they went back to, this is my show, this is your show, and just do that. Especially because if they weren't going to get us a one-belt Undisputed Tag Team Championships, then keep them split up. The contestants, DIY, Awesome Truth, New Catch Republic, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, New Day, and of course the Tag Team Champions, the Judgment Day. And honestly, what's not to love? This was a freaking chaotic ladder match. Now granted, I've talked about there's the kind of chaotic where it's just too hard to follow, and then there's the kind that is really good. This one, I will admit, at times it was a little hard to follow, but ultimately it was just really good chaos. And at some point in the match, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory got the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Then the match went for a little longer. I honestly thought at that point that Judgment Day was going to get the other titles and retain at least half of it. But nope, those titles went to Awesome Truth. So the titles are once again exclusive to a brand. Hopefully we will still get some new ones. And hopefully they'll change the names. They'll go back to like World Tag Team Championships and Universal Tag Team Championships. Something like that. Raw and SmackDown just doesn't sound that prestigious. But I'm glad they're split up. This was a great chaotic match. This one got a 5 out of 5. Yeah! Then, Tag Team Grudge match of Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio and Andrade. It was pretty good, fast-paced, but the match felt like what the rivalry kind of feels like. Filler. Like, I know this rivalry's been building for a long time, but I gotta say, it felt like a lackluster build. Like, really, they should have had the blow-off match for this a while ago and not stretched it out to WrestleMania. Especially because at the last minute, they were going to add Dominic Mysterio. That just felt like, okay, wasn't that already done? I also feel like it's not done, because I feel like the blow-off match is going to have to be Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar one-on-one. And it went until Dominic Mysterio made an attempt to cheat and was stopped by a couple of guys in masks who turned out to be football players who immediately after they said their names, I forgot. I'm not a football fan. And they came out so that Rey Mysterio could get the pin over Escobar so that Mysterio and Andrade win the match. And then they all celebrated with the football players. Honestly, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. But I would say it was a good enough match. It was entertaining enough to where I would still give it a 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then the Bloodline Brothers feud of Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. Something we've been waiting a long time for. To watch a couple of twins fight. And it was very good, but I will say I was expecting more. But still good. Nothing being taken away from it. And at one point in the middle of the match, it looked like they were going to patch things up. But I think any educated wrestling fan knew that that was about to be a swerve, which it was. It was a way for Jimmy Uso to get the advantage over his brother Jay. But didn't help much because eventually Jay was able to get up to the top rope and get the Uso splash onto Jimmy and win the match. And hopefully now Jay can go on to a singles career as well as Jimmy on separate brands. I definitely could see Jay being the Intercontinental Champion at some point. Who knows? Maybe even the World Heavyweight Champion. We'll see. This match, where it was good, again, I was just a little bit let down. I expected a little bit more from it. So I wouldn't give it a 4, but hands down, it easily got its 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then the 6-woman tag of Damage Control members, Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane versus Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Bianca Belair. I hate to say it, especially with the talent in this one, minus Jade Cargill, it was lackluster. The members of Damage Control, all 3 of them are great wrestlers. Naomi's a good wrestler. Bianca Belair's a good wrestler. Jade Cargill is there. But the entire match, though, just felt like they were all just trying to get their stuff in real quick and get to the end. So it felt rushed, and it felt, again, just lackluster. There wasn't enough drama in it to really get me that invested. I found myself not paying attention a couple of times because it wasn't grabbing me. And of course, Jade Cargill is the one that they're making the big deal out of, so she got the pin over Asuka. And honestly, I only give this match a 2 out of 5. Yeah. Then for the Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn versus the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, Gunther. It was good. Great match between the two. Have no complaints at all. I even like that Sami Zayn pulled out his old top rope brainbuster move. And then it ended when Sami Zayn was able to get the Helluva Kick followed by a second Helluva Kick onto Gunther, get the pin, ending his championship reign at the appropriate place to end it, WrestleMania. Like I said, this was a great match, and I definitely had picked it up from the one right before it. I'll give this one a good 4 out of 5. Yeah! Then the main event of night 1, as Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins challenge The Rock and Roman Reigns. The stipulation being that if Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins win, then the next night, during the Universal Championship match between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, no one will be allowed to interfere at all. However, if The Rock and Roman Reigns win, then it's Bloodline rules. Which was just a no disqualification match. But still, Bloodline rules. This was a great freaking match. There was a ton of drama in it. Not only a ton of drama, but a ton of The Rock abusing his power as one of the board of directors members of TKO. At one point, The Rock brought out the weight belt. Didn't really work as Cody Rhodes stopped him from using it, but still. But eventually in the match, Cody Rhodes took a spear from Roman Reigns, who immediately tagged The Rock, who came in and did the rock bottom, the people's elbow, and got the pin over Cody Rhodes, making it so that not only did he and Roman Reigns win, but the next night, Bloodline rules. Which I was happy about, because my prediction was that match was going to determine how the next night was going to go. If Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins won, then Cody Rhodes was not going to walk away with the title. But if The Rock and Roman Reigns won, Cody Rhodes was going to walk away with the title. Mainly because that's a better story. The guy who overcomes all the adversity versus the guy who gets some of the adversity taken away from him. It's not as interesting as a story. So I was happy that The Rock and Roman Reigns won. This match, easily a 5 out of 5. Yeah! So now to night 2. And the opening match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Drew McIntyre challenging Seth Rollins. It was a great match, and of course they're even still building a feud between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, as Drew McIntyre was mocking him over and over again during the match. But even though Drew kept taking time away to go mock CM Punk, he was still able to get the Claymore onto Seth Rollins, get the pin, and finally get to win the world title in front of an entire crowd at WrestleMania. Good for him. Except after the match, he decides to go and continue mocking CM Punk to the point that CM Punk, pissed off, starts beating on Drew McIntyre, who had already just got out of a hard match, even to the point of taking off his arm brace and hitting McIntyre with it, which allowed Damian Priest to come out and cash in his Money in the Bank. This time officially cashing it in, winning, and being the one to get to walk out as the World Heavyweight Champion. That is a great story with so many rivalries built into it. Drew McIntyre is going to want his title back. He's going to blame CM Punk for that. It's going to be awesome. I remember watching it and saying, like, they're going to have to bring it to compare to the opening match from the night before. Well, they did. 5 out of 5. Then a 6-man Philadelphia street fight between the Final Testament, Bobby Lashley, and the Street Profits. It was pretty good. We had Bubba Ray there to be the special guest referee since it's a Philadelphia street fight, and he's known for having hardcore matches in Philadelphia. But ultimately, even though it was a 6-man hardcore match, it wasn't much to it. Just everybody hitting each other with weapons and stuff, and eventually the Street Profits got the win, and everybody celebrated with Snoop Dogg. Which again, this just didn't really hold my attention all that much, and it just felt kind of pointless. And it's a rivalry that I really don't care about, so I barely give it a 3 out of 5. Then the grudge match of LA Knight versus AJ Styles. A few they've been building for a while. 2 wrestlers I definitely wanted to see go at it. And it was really good. No complaints. I like when I see AJ Styles' more brutal side. Like when he slammed LA Knight onto the exposed floor. Although to be fair, LA Knight was the one that exposed the floor, so you reap what you sow sometimes. But eventually, LA Knight still got the BFT and the pin and the win over AJ Styles. So who knows what's going to go on with this. Still really don't know which show is going to have which title. I guess we'll see. But hopefully AJ Styles goes after it, or if Damian Priest goes over there, maybe LA Knight will start going after his title. Who knows? We'll see. But this match, even though I don't have that much to say about it, was still really good and still got a 4 out of 5. Then for the United States Championship, a triple threat match. Logan Paul defending his title against Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. I mean, at first it was really fun watching things like Kevin Owens and Randy Orton taking turns, slamming Logan Paul onto a table, which I hope really did hurt. And later, Orton RKOing IShowSpeed onto a table, which until WrestleMania, I had no idea who that was. My kids had to explain who IShowSpeed is to me, and I already don't like him, so good. But the problem is, Randy Orton got an RKO onto Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul used that to throw Orton out and take his pin over Kevin Owens. So Logan Paul is still the United States Champion. And that irritates me. I've made no bones about it. I don't care how good people say he is. And I say he is because he's not that good. He's just okay. Everything they keep giving him all this credit for, like as if he's one of the top guys, he's not. He's not a top guy storyteller. He's not a top guy wrestler. He's just okay. But in real life, he's also a freaking douche. He's the Brock Lesnar level of douche, and yet he gets whatever he wants because he has a nasty hydration drink out there. Whatever. Until the part-timer Logan Paul loses that title, none of these matches are going to get anything more than a 1. Then, for the WWE Women's Championship, Royal Rumble winner Bayley gets her match against Io Sky. No complaints. It was good. They put on a really good match, as I expected. A couple of cool moments, like when Io Sky went to dive out onto Bayley from the barricade, and she got Bayley to belly on the ringside floor. And again, it went until Bayley was able to pick up the win, and for the first time at WrestleMania, become the new WWE Women's Champion. Again, no complaints about this match. Really good match. Wouldn't say it got a 4, but easily a solid 3 out of 5. Then the main event of not only Night 2, but let's face it, WrestleMania. For the Universal Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. I was already excited about this match because, like I had said, from the night before, that told me there's a very good chance that Cody Rhodes is going to win. And I've been very big on Roman Reigns losing that title since last year and going through this entire year of lackluster WWE pay-per-views because Roman Reigns, if he was even there, was just doing the same freaking match over and over again. And I can't say over and over again, considering since last WrestleMania, this was his 4th title defense. But ultimately, the match itself was so good. The wrestling itself, the story being told itself, and of course we knew Bloodline members were going to get involved, and people took care of that. For example, when Jimmy came in, Jey Uso took care of him. When Solo Sikoa came in, we got a surprise. I expected him to be there, but John Cena came in and took care of Solo Sikoa. So, of course, The Rock comes out, and he takes out John Cena. But then something I didn't expect. The bell tolls. The lights go out. The Undertaker takes out The Rock. And from there, Roman Reigns has no more help. So Cody Rhodes is able to lock him up, get the triple crossroads, get the pin, and finally, after 3.5 years, we have a new WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. Which they're apparently now calling just the WWE Championship again. Whatever. Who cares? Awesome. Finally, Roman Reigns is done. We're done with these lackluster matches that end all the same, if they even happen. And it's given to the guy it had to go to at the event he had to get it at. Finally! There's no way that him winning that title could not result in less than a 5 out of 5. So WrestleMania 40 overall was awesome. It was awesome. Finally, an awesome WWE event in well over a year. I will say this, as a WWE fan, this year has been very draining. It was lackluster PLE after lackluster PLE. The main title was hardly ever defended. They brought out a new main title to try to counter it, but none of us were buying it. All of us were looking at that as the consolation prize, because it was. However, now, finally, with a full-time wrestler being the WWE champion, we can go back to a day where maybe soon enough we can be arguing over which one of those is more prestigious. Kind of like when we had the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship back in the day. Now some people are like, but I don't want to argue about that. You know you do. Wrestling fans, we like to argue with each other over who's better, what's more prestigious, what's less prestigious, and eventually we might be able to do that again. Not to mention, it was just the perfect story to be told. Finally, the guy we want to win wins. After years of that not happening. Because thinking about it, it wasn't just Roman Reigns. Before Roman Reigns, there was Brock Lesnar. We didn't want him either. For years, they have been refusing to give us the champion we want. Now, I get it. You can't give the fans everything they want because that would be boring. But still, at some point, you have to. And it was finally. People are now arguing, though, was this great finish, this great story that was played out for over a year, was it worth an entire year of bad to meh pay-per-views? I don't know if I would agree that it is. Honestly, I would say no. I would say I still feel that last year they made the wrong decision. They should have done it then. However, it's done. Nothing we can do about it. Let's just move on. Because this year, finally, had what I've been wanting all year. A great PLE. The entire event overall was really great. Sure, there were a couple of matches that were good. Not great, but good. Couple that were lackluster. And one where we see the douche walk away with a title that's not going to get defended anymore, so terrible. But none of that really matters because overall, had some really great matches in there that made up for it. And had a great, great ending. The ending alone would have gotten it, but there were still other great matches. I like that Rhea Ripley is still a champion. I like the story going on with Drew McIntyre right now. It's leading to so many possibilities, and I'm happy about it. I like the tag team titles being split up. I was overall very happy about the event. Not every match went the way I wanted it to, but enough to where I would easily give WrestleMania 40. And I've been waiting a long time to give this to a WWE pay-per-view. A 5 out of 5. Yee! So there you have it. That's my wrestling review this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications when I post videos, and leave a comment that can be answered in the next comment corner. Tell me what you thought of WrestleMania 40. Tell me if you're excited over the title change. Go ahead and tell me if you're one of the people that wanted Roman Reigns to go another year. Love you guys.